Welcome to Stairway to English. In this video, you will listen to 5 episodes about discipline, courage, and smart risks. While you learn powerful life lessons, you will also improve your English listening and reading skills. Let's begin the journey. Episode 1: Why taking smart risks can change your future. Life is full of choices, and every choice brings a certain level of risk. Sometimes people are afraid of taking risks because they worry about failure, mistakes, or losing what they already have. But not all risks are the same. There are foolish risks, and there are smart risks. Foolish risks are taken without thinking, without planning, and without understanding the possible results. Smart risks, however, are different. Smart risks are decisions made after careful thought, after weighing the pros and cons, and after preparing for the possible outcomes. Smart risks can open new doors, create new chances, and completely change the direction of a person's life. Imagine a person who wants to start a small business. If this person takes all of their money, invests it without learning about the market, and hopes for success, that is not a smart risk. It is more like gambling. But if the same person studies the market, learns from others, makes a plan, saves some money for safety, and then invests carefully, that is a smart risk. It may still feel scary, but it has more chances of success. Smart risks always combine courage with preparation. When we look at the stories of great leaders, inventors, and thinkers, we can see that many of them changed their lives by taking smart risks. For example, when Thomas Edison was trying to create the light bulb, he failed many times. Each failure was a risk. He could have stopped, given up, and stayed safe. But he understood that each trial brought him closer to success. He was not careless. He tested, learned, improved, and then tried again. His risk was smart because it was based on knowledge, learning, and persistence. In our own lives, we also face situations where we must decide whether to stay safe or to take a risk. Sometimes staying safe feels comfortable. It feels like the right choice because there is no fear. But staying in the safe zone for too long can mean missing chances. For example, imagine someone who has always wanted to study abroad, but they are afraid of leaving their home country. If they never apply, they will never know what opportunities they missed. But if they prepare, research schools, plan their finances, and then apply, they are taking a smart risk that could change their future forever. Another example is speaking English. Many learners understand English but are afraid to speak. They think they might make mistakes or feel embarrassed. So they stay silent. This is the safe choice, but it keeps them stuck. Speaking, on the other hand, is a risk. People might laugh, they might feel shy, or they might not be understood. But if they take the risk to speak, they will learn faster, gain confidence, and improve much more quickly. That is a smart risk because the possible reward is much greater than the fear of embarrassment. Taking smart risks does not mean ignoring fear. Fear is natural. Fear is a sign that something is important. The key is to listen to the fear, prepare for it, and then take action anyway. Fear should not control us, it should guide us. If you feel fear about something but also feel excitement, it is usually a sign that the risk is worth taking. The truth is, every big dream requires some risk. If you want to change your life, you cannot stay in the same place forever. You cannot always do the same things, and expect different results. You must step out of your comfort zone. But remember, stepping out does not mean jumping without thinking. It means moving forward with courage and preparation. That is the meaning of taking smart risks. Think about your own life right now. Is there something you want to do but fear is stopping you? Maybe it is applying for a new job, starting a project, traveling to a new place, or learning a new skill. Ask yourself, is this a foolish risk? Or can I make it a smart risk? Can I prepare, learn, plan, and then take action? If the answer is yes, then this risk might be the very step that changes everything for you. At the end of the day, life rewards the brave. But not just any kind of brave. Life rewards the people who combine courage with wisdom. Smart risks can take you from where you are today to a place you have never imagined. They can bring new friendships, new opportunities, new skills, and new successes. So, as you listen and read this story, I want you to remember one idea. Taking smart risks can change your life. This sentence is not just words, it is a truth that many successful people already discovered. And now it is your turn to discover it too. Episode 2: Learning from Failures and Small Risks. Taking smart risks is not only about success, it is also about failure and the lessons that come with it. Many people are afraid of failure. They see it as a sign of weakness or as something to avoid at all costs. But in reality, failure is one of the most powerful teachers in life. When you take a smart risk and fail, you gain knowledge that no book or lesson can fully give you. You understand what works, what does not, and how you can do better next time. Failure, when accepted with the right mindset, becomes a tool for growth. Think about how children learn to walk. At first, they take small steps and fall many times. Each fall is a failure, but every time they stand up again, they improve. Soon, those small steps become strong and confident. If children were afraid of falling, they would never learn to walk. In the same way, adults must not be afraid of falling in life. Each mistake is a step toward greater strength. Taking small risks helps us practice this. For example, speaking a new language in public is a small risk. You may make mistakes. People may correct you. At first, it may feel embarrassing, but if you continue, you learn faster and gain confidence. Another example is sharing your creative work with others. Maybe you write a story, paint a picture, or design something new. Showing it to the world feels scary because people might not like it. But even if some do not, you learn how to improve. And often, you will find people who do like your work, and that encouragement will push you forward. Small risks also build courage for bigger risks. If you train your mind with small challenges, you prepare yourself for larger ones. Imagine you want to start your own business. That feels like a very big risk. But if you have already practiced smaller risks, like giving a speech, investing a little money in a project, or trying new skills, you are better prepared for the challenges of a business. The key is to see every failure as a message. The message says, this way does not work, but there is another way. Smart risk takers are not people who always win. They are people who are not afraid to try again and again until they find the right way. Every successful person has a long history of failures behind them, but they did not stop at failure. They learned from it. In your own life, you can begin by looking at the risks you avoided in the past. Maybe you said no to something because you were afraid of failing. Ask yourself, what could I have learned if I tried? That question will remind you that failure is not the end. It is part of the journey. Taking smart risks does not mean being careless. It means thinking, preparing, and then having the courage to act, even if the result is not guaranteed. The world rewards people who are willing to try, not only those who succeed the first time. When you embrace small risks, you are training your mind and heart for bigger adventures. So, the next time you face an opportunity that feels uncertain, remember, a small failure is better than no experience at all. Every step, every risk, every mistake brings you closer to becoming stronger, wiser, and more prepared for life. Episode 3: Building Confidence Through Smart Risks. Confidence does not appear in one day. It is something we build step by step. Taking smart risks is one of the best ways to build real confidence. When we try new things and face uncertain situations, we give ourselves a chance to grow. At first, it feels uncomfortable, but soon it becomes a source of strength. Think of confidence as a muscle. A muscle grows only when you use it. If you never use it, it becomes weak. The same is true for confidence. If you avoid challenges and risks, your confidence will stay small. But if you take smart risks, even small ones, you are exercising your confidence muscle. With time, it grows stronger, and you start to believe in yourself more. For example, imagine you are afraid of speaking in front of people. You think you will forget your words, or others will laugh at you. If you never try, the fear becomes stronger. But if you take a smart risk and speak in front of just a few friends, you will notice it is not as scary as you thought. Next time, you can try in front of a bigger group. Each time you practice, your confidence grows. Soon, something that once felt impossible becomes normal. Smart risks are important because they give us safe challenges. We do not have to risk everything at once. We can choose risks that are within our reach, but still push us out of our comfort zone. This balance is what helps us grow without feeling crushed by fear. For instance, learning a new skill is a smart risk. Maybe you decide to learn swimming, dancing, or coding. At the start, you are not good at it, and you may feel shy. But as you keep going, you see progress. That progress becomes a source of pride and confidence. Another example is traveling to a new place. You may not know the language or the culture well. At first, it feels risky to go alone or try new food. But when you do it, you realize you can handle more than you thought. That experience builds your confidence not only in traveling, but also in life. Confidence also comes from knowing that failure will not destroy you. When you take risks and sometimes fail, you realize that life goes on. This realization makes you braver. You stop being afraid of mistakes because you understand that mistakes are part of success. The more you practice this, the more your inner voice changes. Instead of saying, I can't do this, it starts saying, I can try and I will learn. Building confidence through smart risks also inspires others. When people see you trying new things, even if you fail sometimes, they respect your courage. You become an example to your friends, family, and even strangers. Confidence is not only about feeling strong inside, it is also about showing others that growth is possible. To build real confidence, you must keep practicing. One risk is not enough. Life is full of opportunities to challenge yourself, and each one is a chance to grow. Confidence becomes a habit when you continue to choose action over fear. So, if you want to build confidence, do not wait for the perfect moment. Start small. Take one smart risk today. Speak up in a meeting, share your opinion. Try something new. Every time you do, you are building the foundation for a stronger, more confident you. Episode 4: Overcoming Fear with Smart Risks. Fear is one of the strongest forces in human life. It protects us in dangerous situations, but it can also stop us from living fully. Many people stay in the same job, the same city, or the same habits for years because they are afraid of change. Taking smart risks is a way to face fear and overcome it step by step. When fear controls our choices, our lives become smaller. We avoid challenges and we lose the chance to grow. But fear is not always a signal to stop. Sometimes fear is simply telling us, this is new, this is uncertain. If we only listen to fear, we miss opportunities that could improve our future. That is why smart risks are important. They give us a safe way to test our fear and to learn that we are stronger than we think. For example, imagine you dream of starting your own business. The fear inside you says, what if I fail? What if people laugh? What if I lose money? These are natural thoughts. But instead of avoiding the dream, you can take a smart risk. You could start small, maybe by selling something part-time or learning from people who already run businesses. You do not risk everything at once, but you begin the journey. Each small step reduces fear and increases courage. Fear becomes weaker when you face it directly. Avoiding it makes it stronger. Think of fear as a shadow. When you run away, the shadow looks bigger. But when you walk toward it, the shadow becomes smaller. Smart risks give you the courage to walk toward your shadow, not away from it. Overcoming fear does not mean removing it completely. Even the bravest people feel fear. The difference is that they move forward in spite of it. They understand that fear is part of growth. Every time you take a smart risk, you teach your mind and body that fear does not control you. Let's take another example. Speaking a new language. Many people understand English, but are afraid to speak it. The fear of making mistakes holds them back. A smart risk here could be speaking one sentence a day to a friend, or asking a simple question to a stranger. At first, your heart may beat fast, but soon you realize the world does not end if you make a mistake. In fact, most people are kind and patient. Slowly, your fear of speaking disappears. Smart risks also help us separate real danger from imagined danger. Fear sometimes tells us stories that are not true. For example, if you want to travel alone, fear may say, "It's impossible, you cannot do it." But when you prepare carefully, plan your trip, and take smart steps, you realize it is possible. The imagined danger becomes smaller, and your confidence grows. The key to overcoming fear with smart risks is balance. If you take a risk that is too big, fear may overwhelm you. If you take no risk, fear will control you forever. The smart way is to choose risks that are not too big but still push you out of your comfort zone. Over time, These small victories build up. Suddenly, what once seemed impossible feels natural. Fear will always be part of life, but it does not have to be the driver of your choices. By taking smart risks, you learn to sit in the driver's seat and let fear ride quietly in the back. You still hear its voice, but it no longer controls the direction of your life. So, the next time you feel fear, pause and ask yourself, is this fear protecting me or is it stopping me from growing? If it is the second, then take a smart risk. Step forward with courage. You will see that every time you face fear, you come out stronger on the other side. Episode 5: How Smart Risks Transform Your Life. When we look back at our lives, we often notice that the most important changes happened when we took risks. But not all risks are the same. Some are careless and they lead to problems. Others are smart and they lead to growth. Smart risks transform your life because they open new doors, create new experiences, and shape who you become. A smart risk is not about luck or chance. It is about preparation, courage, and action. When you take a smart risk, you first think carefully. You ask yourself questions. What can I gain from this step? What could I lose? How can I prepare to increase my chances of success? By asking these questions, you plan in a way that makes the risk less dangerous and more powerful. Smart risks also give you freedom. Many people live inside small circles. They follow the same routines every day, afraid to change. But when you take a smart risk, you step outside that circle. For example, imagine you decide to study abroad. It feels scary, but it is also exciting. By taking that step, you discover a new culture, new friends, and maybe even a new career. The world becomes bigger because you were brave enough to act. The transformation comes not only from success, but also from failure. When you fail after a smart risk, you still learn something valuable. Failure is not the end, it is part of the process. Every mistake teaches you what to do differently next time. This lesson makes you wiser and more confident. In fact, many successful people say their biggest growth came from failures, not from easy wins. Another way smart risks change your life is by building self-trust. When you take small steps and see results, you begin to trust yourself more. You say, I can do this. I am capable. This belief is powerful. It pushes you to try again and again, even when things are difficult. Over time, your inner voice becomes more positive and supportive. That inner strength is what transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. Smart risks also bring opportunities you cannot see before. Let's say you start sharing your artwork online. At first, it feels like a risk because people might judge you. But then someone discovers your work and offers you a chance to sell it. Suddenly, a small decision creates a big change. These moments only happen because you decided to act, even with fear. Life transformation through smart risks is not about one big moment. It is about many small choices. Each time you step forward, even a little, you change your path. If you continue this process in a year or 5 years, your life will look completely different. You will see progress in your career, relationships, health, and confidence. The most beautiful part is that smart risks inspire others. When people see your courage, they start to believe they can do the same. Your actions become an example, and you may help someone else transform their life too. So, how do you begin this journey? Start small. Choose one thing you want to try, something just outside your comfort zone. Prepare for it, take the step, and learn from the result. Then, repeat the process with another small risk. Bit by bit, you will grow stronger. Eventually, you will look back and realize how far you have come. Taking smart risks is not about living without fear. It is about living with purpose. It is about saying, I will not let fear decide my life. I will choose growth. That decision, repeated again and again, will transform who you are and where you are going. Your future is not built by staying safe. It is built by moving forward with wisdom, courage, and smart risks. And when you do that, you will see your life open up in ways you never imagined.